Hey movie fans, it's MarkDavid here, and I'm here today to do a review on Jungle Cruise. Before we get started, consider subscribing as I like to do movie reviews, and sometimes I like to do unboxings for physical media that comes out. Alright, if you don't know anything about this film, don't worry, I gotcha. I'm gonna let my friends Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt let you know what the story is about.
My name is Dr. Lily Houghton. My brother and I are looking for passage upriver.
What's out there in the jungle? It's not a fun vacation.
Well, I'm not here for a vacation.
Legend has it that there is a tree that possesses unparalleled healing power. It will change medicine forever.
And you need someone to help you find it. Here we go.
Alright, now that we know what the premise of the film is about, let's get into the review. First off, I want to say the dynamic between Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt is like amazing. Throughout the film, they constantly bicker at each other back and forth, and it's so effective because they both take little jabs at each other, and they're honestly like really funny. I just constantly laughed at how they kept going at each other, and honestly that was probably the best part of this film, the dynamic between these characters. One thing I do want to add is that Emily Blunt's character is not portrayed as a damsel in distress. She holds her own throughout the whole film. She doesn't need a man saving her. She has her own action scenes. She knows how to get out of situations. So that's a huge step forward for women in film. For Dwayne Johnson, he honestly is a great skipper in the film. He reminds me a lot of the actual attraction from Disneyland, and there's a lot of callback jokes to the ride, which is really great, but we also get treated to a lot of dad jokes from Dwayne, and he delivers them so perfectly and so hilariously that this film has great comedy. That's one thing I love about it. The dad jokes were just top tier. With that being said, I feel like the first 2/3 of the film does a great job at portraying the Jungle Cruise likeness of the attraction, the real life attraction. You're really going for a ride through this jungle, and we experience a lot of callbacks to the ride. Like I said, there's a lot of good jokes, but it feels so realistic in a way because the first 2/3 of the film are spent. It's not an easy cruise. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not an easy cruise. There's danger throughout the cruise to getting to the tree, and it just felt like an actual trip through the Amazon, which is really great. I wish they focused on that a little bit more, but honestly, it's just like the ride. It was a good interpretation of the ride to film, in my opinion. I will say though, the CGI is a little bit choppy here and there. It's not perfect, especially for a $200 million movie. I feel like Disney needs to either invest more money into their CGI, because I feel like most of the films have a CGI problem, and it could have been a little bit of a better experience if they fine-tuned a lot of the CGI. One of my problems was the score. I personally think it wasn't memorable. It was like a generic score. It wanted to be, I want to say like Indiana Jones, but it's not as iconic. You can feel adventure in the music, but there's no main theme throughout the film, which is kind of sad because music resonates a lot to me and it helps me remember a lot of scenes when I listen to the score, but this score just did nothing to me, sadly. I do have two big issues with the film though. There's a scene where Jake Whitehall's character is about to come out to Dwayne's character, and it could have been a huge moment for Disney for representation into the LGBTQ community, but they do a little fake out. Throughout the movie, we know this character is gay. He's very flamboyant, feminine like, and he hints at it a lot. But in this scene, he was like literally close to saying I'm gay, but instead they chose for his character to say my interests lie elsewhere, which I think was a really bad fake out, and Disney just needs to stop being cowards at this point. Like, it's 2021, a lot of people need representation in films, and I just don't like the way Disney does like gay bait, in my opinion. And it's honestly sad. Just take the leap. It's not going to be a huge issue, I promise you. And my second biggest issue with this film is the third act is just too generic. Everything just, after all this 2/3 of the first film spending a tough time trying to reach this tree, the third act just turns into this whole convenient plot. Everything starts falling into place. The story just gets wrapped up really quickly, and it's just like, it just turns into a sloppy third act in my opinion. Too fast, too convenient, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. Overall, Jungle Cruise feels like Pirates of the Caribbean and Indiana Jones mixed together, but it's not as good. It's still a good watch in my opinion, but it won't have that strong rewatchability factor that those other two films have, unfortunately. But I still would recommend watching it at least once. I myself personally know I will not be watching it anymore in theaters. Probably I'll watch it when it comes out on Blu-ray, but I'm not dying to watch it again. I think it is a good family film, and it's still a good time. It's not perfect like Pirates of the Caribbean or Indiana Jones, but overall I think Jungle Cruise deserves a 7 out of 10. So that's my review on Jungle Cruise. Let me know if you guys have watched it. Did you watch it in the theaters or Disney Plus? Comment down below your thoughts on the film if you have watched it, and don't forget to check out my other social media in the bio. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.